Hello and welcome back to the Checkpoint Reach podcast. I'm your host Luke Eldon and today I'm joined by Sudden Perks. How are you doing, guys?
Very good.
Yeah, alright as always.
Good. I mean,
not too bad.
You started off with, that's not you.
It's never a good sign.
Yeah, it'll do. Another episode, here we are.
Yeah, another episode, here we are, but this might cheer you up because we have a special guest. We've mentioned the Parry Bros quite a bit, and we've had Ted Parry, but today we've got Bob Parry.
Hello. Wow, thanks for the introduction, Eldon. That was quite something.
Yeah.
Hello. Well, yeah, it's good to be here. I know I was hoping that the other Parry bro would be joining us today, but it's good to finally get on the podcast.
Wow. To be fair, some would say the superior Parry bro on today's podcast.
I'm just going to say I wouldn't. I
don't know.
I sit on the fence with the Parry Bros. I like both equally.
I like both, but it's different.
The unstoppable force and the immovable object, I like to call them.
Yeah. But which one's which?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it literally doesn't matter, does it?
Oh well, I think of the history that me and Perks have in Gears of War, I can decide which one's which.
Ooh.
Yeah,
the rivalry.
Yeah, that I really didn't know about until it was, I don't know, like 3 or 4 months ago when you started talking about it.
Massive rivalry back in the day.
Shotgun v chainsaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never knew it was considered a rivalry, so my bad.
There you go.
I knew you would say that.
Denying the fact.
It's just what happens when you're at the top. You don't think about those below you.
Ooh, shots fired. He said it isn't
a rivalry. He said it wasn't a rivalry. And this is giving me flashbacks to the Gears of War days.
Good days, those ones.
Oh, the good old days.
And now, Perks reluctantly has to play on the same team as me on Call of Duty.
Yeah, so, we are.
Times have changed. I appreciate you as a squad mate. It's all good.
Yeah.
Hey, we're pretty good on Warzone as well, to be fair to us. Got some wins between us. I mean, there are others that join the squads as well, to be fair, but...
Yeah, no, it's true. Others that shall not be named.
Yeah, but this is your time on the podcast. Make the most of it. Don't know.
Exactly. It's put the attention I Pazza and Perksies. But yeah, I don't know. I've been really enjoying playing Warzone with the guys, catching up with you all again.
Yeah.
The lockdown's brought us all back together. Me and Sud could, play some Gears together.
Yeah, we played quite a bit, didn't we? To be fair, we did play quite a bit of Gears for a bit, but man, that game, I think I'm done with that game. I can't take Gears anymore. I just can't.
No, I
it's
can't.
Horrible. No.
You only get 2 months tops out of Sud on an online multiplayer, really. Burnout.
Mate, that's definitely a thing for me. Yeah, I mean, that's you probably hit the nail on the head there. Just I don't know. These days, I'm definitely more of a single player gamer. I'm not going to lie. But I still like the old multiplayer game. It's just I don't know. They just don't excite me as much as like back in the day.
No. Well, we have grown up and, things aren't the same. But we did touch on Call of Duty Warzone. We've been playing a lot of that. And that actually brings us nicely onto our first topic of the day, which is the reports of Call of Duty 2020 is going to be called Black Ops Cold War. New reports... like it's some food.
Seduced by the Black Ops title.
Yeah.
I just thought it was very interesting.
Yes. Well, it is very interesting.
Tasty title.
It is a tasty title. And, I'll carry on. New reports suggest this year's Call of Duty game will be titled Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, like I've mentioned, and will return to the Black Ops sub-series historical setting. Warzone is rumoured to be evolving as well. So it's not just going to be a standalone thing. They are going to look to expand with that. And yeah, is this something you guys would be excited for?
I don't know, it's weird, isn't it? Because in one way, it's like, every time there's a new COD announced, it's like, that's interesting. It'd be interesting to see what it looks like and stuff like that. But because they come out every year, it's like, I don't think you can ever get like very excited. It's like, it's sort of one of the things where it's like, yeah, it's cool. I want to see it. I want to see what it looks like and stuff like that. I'm sure we'll probably get some sort of announcement soon. We usually do around this time with COD, don't we? Like middle of the year. We get like a trailer and stuff like that. I mean, not so much for me, but for you guys, I guess it'll be interesting to see what's happening with Warzone in the future. I'm sure they'll do some sort of update on it as well. But just in general, I think I like the single player. I like the single player in Black Ops, in the Black Ops series. So it'd be interesting for that to carry on because I'm assuming the single player will be back. I think they do say that, don't they? In the article, it's pretty much back.
Yeah, it'll be back.
Yeah, so,
they do.
That'll be good because that was the one thing about Black Ops 4, wasn't it? Like, obviously we love Blackout and stuff like that. The multiplayer was fine, but the fact there was no single player was a bit like, it was kind of a bit of a bummer. Because I do like going through the single player, so
it was an experiment for them, though. Yeah, they launched with the 3 modes that were all online focused. No,
they
single
had to scrap the single player, didn't they? They had to. Actually, that was the reason they got there because it was in an unfinished state, so they had to. They weren't happy with it, so they scrapped it.
Yeah, generally speaking, I've always preferred the Black Ops side of the franchise.
Yeah.
And I've always been better at it as well, which probably helps. But the old Black Ops games, they're definitely fond in the memory.
I think I think for you guys, it's more, I guess, I know you're all probably excited about everything about the game, but I guess Warzone is the one area that you use 3 especially want to see where they're going to sort of improve on things.
Well, I think they've already improved on the genre of the Battle Royale anyway, because they did bring in some new elements to it, which I enjoy a lot. So, if they can evolve that and keep things moving, obviously freshen up with a new map and stuff and add in little bits, then I'll be happy and I'm excited to see where that goes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I was going to say, it's meant to be like a soft reboot, isn't it? Like, kind of like Modern Warfare was last year. So it's kind of like, probably going to reimagine the story of the first one.
Yeah, I thought it was just rumoured to be a soft reboot. It might not be still.
Yeah, it is rumoured. It's like a heavy rumour, though. I think it's probably likely because they got a lot of success with rebooting the Modern Warfare, didn't they? So I assume... I mean, this game will have been in development for 2 or 3 years, but...
By the way, that's a new thing, isn't it? This soft reboot is starting to happen a lot more now across the industry. Everything seems to be soft reboot these days.
It's like movie industry now.
Yeah, it is.
That's what seems to happen, isn't it now?
Yeah.
It's a bit boring. I'm just going to throw it out there. I want new ideas. Seriously, I'm done with things being rebooted and rebranded, but it's the same thing. Just give us some new things. Be creative. Like, literally think about it. Not just games, but media as an industry. It's like the most creative space. You can do whatever you want, and all you ever get is rehashes and reboots and redesigns. Where's the new stuff at?
I'd like to see I don't think I'd say this. Like, I didn't think I'd say this a few years ago, but I really enjoyed Infinite Warfare's story, and that was set in the future, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was good.
A
lot of cameos in that. Lewis Hamilton. Conor McGregor, obviously.
Conor McGregor as well. Yeah, that was just quite funny. But yeah, I'd like to see Black Ops go in the future, because we haven't... Although, I think, was it Black Ops 3? That kind of went in the future, didn't it? A little bit, I think, if I remember rightly. That was set a few years ahead of time, if I remember rightly. But
I don't think
I'd like to see them go...
Yeah, I can't remember that.
Yeah, it was one... I think it was one of the worst campaigns for me of the CODs in recent years. Black Ops 3, I really didn't enjoy that one, to be honest.
Black Ops 3 was the mind, not expletive, but it was the mind mess one, wasn't it? Where it kept playing with your head right to the end, and it had the twist at the end with the character and stuff.
I remember you really enjoying it. I remember we played it as a 3 on Realistic. You really enjoyed it. Me and Matty were just skip. I didn't care.
Bash X, get it done.
It was like, oh, this is terrible.
Well, I liked it because it was something a bit different, and that kind of probably backs up what I was saying before. It wasn't your traditional COD story, as in, here's the terrorist, stop the nuke, or something like that.
Yeah.
It still had the similarities. It still felt like a COD game, but it just went in a different direction, and maybe it wasn't the best, but I enjoyed it for what it was.
Well, it's interesting you guys say that, because I've actually not played the latest installments of the Black Ops franchise. About the soft reboots, Perks, I completely agree with you. I do think that the media is the ultimate space to be creative and do what you like and think outside the box, and set the boundaries of what you can do with a story. But I don't know, I quite welcome the soft reboot of Modern Warfare. I'm pretty sure that you guys did too, because I'm having a hell of a time playing it at the moment. And I'm glad it kind of went back to its roots. I don't know, it was kind of straying in a direction that was dividing the community a little bit.
It seems to have been successful as well. I mean, it sold really well. well, they all sell well, I guess. Nothing new, but I think it sold a bit more than Black Ops 4, didn't it, the one before, so I think they're probably pleased with that. But yeah, I think I really enjoyed I did enjoy the campaign. I thought it was really good, the campaign. Actually.
I thought it was great, yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I thought it was really good.
There was a lot of interesting missions. So.
Speaking about the campaigns and going back through the games, I was thinking then, I actually enjoy nearly every campaign I play of COD.
Yeah, not many of them are bad. Yeah.
I enjoyed Advanced Warfare. I think that was Kevin Spacey.
That was a decent.
Infinite Warfare, and then obviously I even enjoyed the World War II. Was it World War II?
Yeah, that was really
good.
I
think.
No, I love that. Yeah,
that was a good one.
That was good. This one's
really good.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, I think for me personally, Black Ops 3 is probably. Oh, and Ghost. Ghost wasn't very good. Call of Duty Ghost campaign wasn't great either.
I remember the advert for it.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember that one, but it wasn't the best, was it? Ghost.
I remember Ghost for all the wrong reasons.
Wasn't great.
Online co-op mode.
Oh yeah,
that dog's trailer.
Extinction. Yeah, we
Yeah.
Do you remember like we tried to do that? That guy pretty much like just took us through it, and he was ridiculous at it.
Yeah, but I mean, we fought through a lot of hell to get to somebody who actually knew what they were doing.
It was so hard, wasn't it?
Like, that's the example of when matchmaking is bad.
Yeah,
too many randoms who have no idea what's going on.
But but just in general, I think like I said, Infinite Warfare, I think for me is probably the strongest one. I think this generation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Eldon.
Big claim.
Yeah, World War II as well.
I like them all. You tend to know what you get, and it's like what 6 maybe hours if you're lucky.
6 to 8 hours, yeah.
But it's always solid, and then obviously the actual game itself is the online and what comes after.
Yeah,
I think what they do well with the campaigns is, they're usually generic storylines, but the game plays well in my opinion. It's a bit of a throwaway, fun campaign to do. You don't have to be too invested in it, so. For me, they tend to hit knock out the park most times with that.
Yeah.
Short and fun.
No, that's true. It's what you want sometimes, because there's all these I know we all love our RPGs and long RPGs and stuff like that, but sometimes you do want to just play a quick game, don't you? Like a nice game you can do in 2 sessions or whatever.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
bringing Captain Price back is always a solid move.
Yeah, they did a good job with that, to be fair, didn't they? Bringing him back. And I'm sure they'll bring other character. They'll probably bring what was he called, Mason back or whatever. Well, the first Black Ops and stuff like that.
Did Captain Price die in the original? I know Soap didn't he? And he's back.
Yeah, Soap did.
I don't think Price.
Price didn't. No.
Price survived.
Yeah, but Ghost died. Ghost got burnt to death.
Oh, Ghost. Was that in Modern Warfare 3?
Yeah, but this what it comes back to with the soft reboot thing. You're gonna get everyone back. It just kind of annoys me a bit.
Yeah, I don't mind personally, but I do understand where you're coming from.
I would care more if I was invested in the stories more, you know? Like, as much as I do enjoy the campaigns, like I said before, they're a throwaway a little bit for me. It's just fun. Yeah. So even when Soap dies, it doesn't pull on my heartstrings or anything like that. I'm not that bothered. So when he comes back, I'm just like, meh, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Just give me another fun story and I'll play it.
Yeah. Well, are we allowed to disclose Modern Warfare spoilers? Or are we keeping that under wraps?
Oh, yeah, it's been out for ages.
I mean, I think we can probably just say maybe skip the next 30 seconds or something if you haven't played it.
It's been out for ages, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been out 6 months. Some people won't have played it though, I guess, but
yeah.
Well,
just skip ahead if you haven't played it.
Yeah, if you haven't played it, we're going to talk about spoilers. Well, Bobby is anyway, so.
Spoiler alert.
Go on then, Bob. What do you want to say?
All right, what do I want to say? I was just, about the characters in Modern Warfare. I thought was quite funny. I really enjoyed the Modern Warfare story. I thought it took it in a really exciting direction. It was quite realistic in some respects as far as Call of Duty games go, anyway. But maybe the point I'm getting at is I found Alex to be actually quite a really likable character throughout the game, and that's probably why they brought him back. He
survived, didn't he?
Yeah.
And that's the unrealistic part of the story. I don't know. He's only lost a leg, apparently. His face is all right. That's good.
Yeah, there's always going to be a few continuity problems and weird stuff with that. So,
but will it be in the next game?
You didn't see him die, so I guess they could always do that.
Yeah,
well,
that's very true.
That's
true.
I mean, they imply heavily he died, but like Perk said, if you actually haven't seen him dead, then
it doesn't count.
That don't count. Well, I wish I could say that on Warzone when you guys have left me, don't see me die.
Yes,
they'll probably do a story where they rebuild him or something.
Well, like the
like in
$6 million
like Mass
man.
Effect, like Mass Effect 2, where you get rebuilt.
Oh yeah, of course. Commander Shepard.
Another spoiler, but if you haven't played Mass Effect 2 by now, what are you doing with your life?
Well, it just ruined it for me. Thanks, Sud.
You not played it?
But you've had 10 years, so.
You not played Mass Effect?
Yeah.
No, I've actually not. It's one of my big regrets in life.
Having said that, there is them rumours about it being the trilogy, isn't there?
Yeah.
Rebooted.
So, which I would definitely play again.
Sud, come on.
I love them games.
How have we can't let Bobby get away with this. He has to play.
It's a disgrace that he hasn't played Mass Effect. You must have played the first one. Surely you messed around with the first one.
No, Joe, this won't come as a surprise to you guys, but Ted owned the Mass Effect games and he wouldn't let me play them.
Yeah, and I think if I remember rightly, he didn't even complete them either.
No.
Yeah, I know.
think
You did.
I don't understand how you can have them games and not finish them. They're so good.
Brotherly love for you, man.
Well, there you go.
That's something to play in lockdown.
Still the same trend.
That's a great trilogy to play in lockdown.
Amazing games to play in lockdown. Never played.
Yeah, true.
Best trilogy in gaming, in my humble opinion. If you're talking they're not the best 3 games in gaming, but they're the best 3 as a package, in my opinion.
I think they are my favourite.
What in terms?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a trilogy and a story.
There's so much value in those games.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, they're great. They're just great games.
Yeah.
I really hope, though, I know we're going off on a bit of a tangent here, but if they do this remaster, especially to you, I know Perch, you're a fan as well, but I really, really hope they just do the controls for 1. Just remake the controls.
Yeah.
Like 2 for 1. That's all I want. That's literally all I want. I don't even if they didn't update the graphics that much, I just want there to be good controls for 1. It'd be so much better.
If they put in the controls from 2 to 1, that game improves tenfold.
Oh yeah.
And maybe, well, actually, completely, they'd have to make the controls better for the Mako or scrap the Mako, but I don't know if you could get away with that in Mass Effect 1.
Yeah, you'd probably have to just make the controls better, but I didn't mind the Mako too much. It was one of them where it was bad to drive. I liked doing what you did with it. It's just, yeah, if the controls were better, it'd be a lot better.
The Mako for me rivals the Arkham Knight, just using the Batmobile.
I hate that so much.
I mean, granted, the Batmobile controls better, but the Batmobile is used far too much. But, anyway.
It's like 3/4 of the game.
Yeah, it is, and that is a completely different tangent there. But
yeah, it really is.
We'll bring it back to Black Ops Cold War,
Yeah.
this rumoured game, next one in the series for Call of Duty. I feel like, as well, the timing of it being a Cold War touches quite close to home, because with tensions brewing in the world with China and America, especially with Trump and Russia, Trump putting out tweets and stuff. I'm not going political, but I'm just saying it just seems to be coming out in a time where political atmosphere.
We might be in a new Cold War.
Well, you never know, do you? But it's just tensions high.
Well, there you go. It actually could be Black Ops Cold War, and it's set in 2020. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe it is.
Oh god.
Yeah, but it's not a game. You play it in real life.
Yeah. That's the joke. Yeah.
I don't think I'd like that.
It will be interesting though. No, I think it's one of them though where it's like Cold War could mean any era, because Cold War went on from 1950 to like 1990. So I mean, you're looking at. I mean, is it going to be set over all those years? Is it going to be? I assume it's not. It's probably just going to be set in like, I don't know, the 70s or 60s or 80s or one of them.
I actually thought it was going to be in the future. Does it say in the article that it's set in the 70s or 80s?
Well, they say Cold War, which, unless they're talking about a new... I mean, I guess they could be talking about a new Cold War. But...
See, they could make up their own version of it in the future. I wouldn't mind that so much.
No, that'd be interesting. Maybe set in like 20, 30 years' time, something like that.
Yeah.
That might be cool.
Yeah, be a little twist on it anyway.
Yeah. I guess we'll see.
Well, maybe we should have been on the development of this game. That would be a nice idea.
That's a great idea.
You know, if Activision want to... I mean, Treyarch want to hire us.
Yeah, if they're listening.
We can't code, we can't design.
No.
But we can
give you ideas.
And ideas.
We could do a bit of writing for it.
So one of my biggest interests with it is actually how Warzone progresses, like side by side as COD goes on, because they're obviously not going to release incremental battle royales because fractured player bases and too much time to develop them. So when we get to the stage of Black Ops Cold War, are we going to see like Warzone become a Cold War battle royale? Like, is the map going to represent that? Are all the skins, all the guns, is everything just going to change?
That's a good point.
I'd assume so.
Well, who will be developing
Warzone? Well, it's weird, isn't it? Because obviously the rumor, we don't even know the developer technically, but obviously it's probably going to be Treyarch. because they obviously always do the Black Ops games. But I'll have help from other studios because that's what Activision do now. They have like 2 or 3 different development teams on it, but I'm going to assume that it's weird, isn't it? How will it work? I'm assuming that like Warzone on not Advanced Warfare, what the bloody hell's the game called? Modern Warfare will stay pretty much the same, and they'll just probably have Treyarch like maybe do updates to it to change the map and stuff like that on the new one. I'm assuming.
I've actually got an idea about this one because they have had it rumoured for a long time now about there being a new map, and with the announcement of Black Ops Cold War coming out now, they have said that a Warzone is going to act as like, the continuity between the series when new releases come out. Like, it's going to be the same thing. So it could actually be that there's a new map, and on this new map is like a 60s or whatever Cold War style map, and then you have Cold War guns for that particular map. See if that makes sense. So they could actually have different. Yeah, well,
so
depending on the maps that you play. Yeah, I mean, so if you play on Verdansk, for example, it could just be Modern Warfare loadouts.
Yeah, I mean, that is a good... They could do that. I don't see why they couldn't.
They definitely could do that. What, and like have a switch between maps?
Well, yeah, that's right. So if you play a different map, be different loadouts like Black Ops.
How do we with controls, though? That's in it, because the controls are, like, they're not much different, but they're going to be slightly different. They're always a little bit different between COD, so it's like, that's going to be weird, isn't it? Does it revert back to the Modern Warfare controls when you play Verdansk and then go back to their controls when you play the Cold War map? Like, it's a weird one for me.
There won't be fractured controls. You won't have different controls across different maps and settings and stuff
what
like
controls
that.
Would it be then? Would they just convert to the Treyarch controls, like every map?
No, it'd be as it is now. Like, it would be under the same banner it is now. They wouldn't pass on Warzone to Treyarch. I mean,
what I'm saying is then, so do you think there's a scenario where the multiplayer and maybe like if they have zombies or whatever it is and campaign in Cold War are going to be different controls, and then you're going to have to switch controls when you play Warzone?
Well, Warzone isn't a part of Modern Warfare as such.
No, but it's the same. It's the same controls, though, isn't it? It's like you play the single player.
Yeah, but I mean,
you play the Warzone. It's the same. Same movement, same control. Whereas if you go to a completely different COD, it's similar, but it's going to be slightly different.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to be different, though. You're still going to have the same buttons for aiming down sight, shooting, your tacticals, your lethals, everything's still going to be the same.
Yeah, I know that. I just mean it'll just feel a little bit different, won't it? But like, if you played a lot of multiplayer, say, on Cold War, then you go into this, you'll be like, oh, it might take you like a couple of games to, adjust a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think that's anything that regular players would struggle with.
No, I know. It was just a point I was trying to make, that it might be slightly different.
Well, do you know what, Sud? Perks and Elden agree with me, but this is what I think will happen. A bloody 50 gigabyte update will come out, and then up on the D-pad is to throw a grenade or something.
Yeah, probably.
No, yeah, they will accidentally default the control scheme to something that no one would ever use.
It wouldn't shock me, to be honest.
Good job, guys.
Yeah.
So if Warzone becomes its own entity and separate download, is it actually going to stay at like 100 plus gig?
I'd assume so.
Yeah, I mean, there's no real reason it won't. I mean, don't forget, I don't even have Modern Warfare as a disc, so I don't have the campaign or the multiplayer. My Warzone exists standalone, so.
Yeah, and it's 100 plus, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's just going to get added to over time. They might reach a point where it happened with Gears a while back. I think it was Gears 4, where there was so much wasted and poor code. They actually redid a download and they took like 30 something gig off the code. So you might remember that.
Yeah, no, Gears 4 got so ridiculous.
Yeah, and they basically had to re-release the whole download and say, look, sorry, there was a lot of wasted space, so take this one. It's all like condensed and as it should have been coded in the first place.
Well, that's what I was kind of getting at. Do you think they could do something like that to reduce it? Because it's pretty big.
It honestly depends how much of the code is like wasted or uncondensed. Like if they've just done it to be lazy because there's enough spaces on all the hard drives now, then so be it. And if you don't even have a big one installed on the console, there's loads of external ones knocking around. So if they've been lazy, then yeah, it could easily be condensed. And if not, then my God, that's a big download if they've minimized it the best they can.
Yeah, very true. Very true. However, we do assume that the next gen consoles are going to have bigger hard drives and space. Well, this is not assume, we know. And that brings us nicely onto PS5 games as well, because obviously that's a big talking point at the moment, and the Sony CEO says that PS5 games will be announced soon, so the wait will be over. And obviously we checked out an article by Push Square that had a list of games that they think come in on the next gen, and asking, and some have been confirmed and stuff, and what are you most excited for? And we'll discuss through the game in the list that we have, but I'll touch on two that spring out to me, which is Marvel's Spider-Man 2, which is no surprise if you listened to the podcast before, because I do love Spider-Man. The game is amazing. And the Harry Potter RPG. I really want to play the Harry Potter RPG. The concept of being your own character in a Harry Potter universe is very appealing to me.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. I think the first thing I'd say about this whole thing is obviously these rumours now about this PlayStation event in early June, it's getting more and more credence with each kind of day that passes by, really, that it's pretty much confirmed at this point. We're all going to be seeing the PlayStation 5 reveal, I assume, in early June. Not sure about the exact date yet, but it's definitely going to be probably in the first or second week of June. So we've not got long to wait, which is exciting, because as we all know, PlayStation events are usually pretty good. So
they're usually better than Xbox.
Well, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, it can't possibly be worse than that horrible Inside Xbox we watched.
That was horrible.
So, it won't be.
Yeah, it'll be much better. But
There's not even a doubt.
No, definitely not. And as someone that's, probably going to be getting the PS5, it's definitely exciting for me, especially so.
Oh, you're no longer on the fence now?
No, that fence is
No, because to be honest, the more I think about it, the more I think it just makes sense, doesn't it? I've got the Xbox One X. I've got a normal PS4. I mean, it's just, to be honest, I think it's a bit of a no-brainer.
Logical, for sure.
So, I can play the exclusives on the X, can't I? I mean, I'm going to be able to play them for at least 2 years, like we've all said in podcasts before, so it just makes sense to me. So, yeah, I think I am looking forward to a lot of these games. Yeah, I agree with you. Spider-Man 2 is one that I'm definitely looking for. One that you missed, though, that I'm very shocked that you didn't mention. Horizon Zero Dawn 2 has to be. For me, personally, probably the one I'm looking forward to the most.
I do agree.
So good.
It's an amazing game.
But now we don't know if it's going to be revealed, but I agree with you. The Harry Potter RPG would be, I've got like a childlike excitement to see that.
Same, yeah.
Like, because I'm sure you two played them as well. The ones, the Harry Potter games on PS1 and PS2 were just so fun.
They really were, yeah.
They were just like, especially Chamber of Secrets, obviously, on PS2, the best one.
Classic.
I think we can all agree with that one. I just loved it.
I feel like Perks doesn't agree though, so I don't think Perks is a Harry Potter fan.
No, we've had this discussion many times in the past. I fully understand the excitement and all they could do with the world and the game and just everything in that setting, like especially if it went off the beaten track that everyone expects. Yeah. But I just don't care. I just couldn't care less. Of every game on that list, that'd probably be in the bottom two.
You'd be perfect for
Slytherin.
Bottom two. Oh,
bottom two. What? Gran Turismo? You'd rather play Gran Turismo?
Yeah,
that's the one.
Ratchet and Clank.
I think Piers would rather play Ratchet.
Yeah, probably. I could maybe open it up to bottom three because I wouldn't play Yakuza. So, yeah, the Harry Potter RPG. I just don't care much. Like they would have to do something incredible to even interest me to watch a trailer of that.
By the way, don't sleep. That Ratchet and Clank game was really good on PS4. If you like them, like Crash Bandicoot style games, then
yeah, for sure,
you'll like Ratchet and Clank. I think you'd like it, Bobby. Ratchet and Clank was really good on the PS4.
Well, yeah, I had the originals.
Sequel to that'd be great.
Yeah, I played the originals on the PlayStation 2, and they're some of the best games I've ever played, to be honest.
Yeah, they're fun. Honestly, mate, if you, that PS4 one, you'd really like. If you love them PS2 ones, I think this PS4 one's the best one they've ever done.
Really?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. So,
as the other Parry Bros said, I think I've missed out on quite a lot in terms of the PlayStation side of gaming. Like, without a doubt, PlayStation does have the better games. God of War,
definitely the better exclusives, no doubt about that.
Yeah, Spider-Man and all that other sort of stuff that you guys are raving about, and just even playing those platformers like Ratchet and Clank are just great games. And I am loyal to the Xbox. And it's weird because I was a PlayStation player and then I converted to the Xbox, and it's been ever since because I think I've just got fonder memories playing with like you guys, like back in the past online multiplayer.
Yeah.
That's where like sort of game experiences have come from. But I just really want Xbox to get it right, and I just feel like they're going in the direction they did on Xbox One launch again, like without having exclusives for next gen, like on release. I think that's a really bad move. But as we've seen with the PlayStation, it's the games that sell. That's what's going to determine
consoles. Yeah,
exactly. So I know PlayStation are just going to make Xbox look silly when they have their reveal. But I just want Xbox to get it right, really.
I mean, it's fair to say that obviously, the PlayStation, we're going to see a lot of stuff in PlayStation, but we have to and I know what's going to happen. There's going to be people saying RIP Xbox and all that again, and maybe it'll be true, but we have to remember that Xbox do have their own event in July, so we have to be mindful of that. So they do have a chance to respond to this.
And can I just touch on, we weren't the ones saying RIP Xbox.
No,
we were poking fun at the comments, because on last week's podcast, obviously, we got a few comments, but we weren't the ones saying RIP Xbox.
No.
I think now would be a good time, actually, to get Bobby's thoughts. I mean, we've shared our views many times in the last few weeks. Where do you stand, Bobby, on Microsoft and Xbox going in the direction of being consumer friendly now, not fracturing the player base? The next gen console isn't really next gen. There's no exclusives for at least a year. And then you've got Sony with the PlayStation, who have come in with PlayStation 5. There are PlayStation 5 exclusives from day one. And that's your bang for your buck, if you like. Which side do you stand on?
Well, it's put me on the spot here now, mate.
Well, you got to think about these things. The next gen is upon us.
I have. Don't you worry about that. But yeah, it's an odd one, really. Just like I was saying, I kind of clutching and hoping Xbox can do something to wow the community. Yeah, I completely appreciate they have been consumer friendly in the past few years. They've been making some really good moves with the Xbox Game Pass and all the other sort of, consumer friendly stuff that they have been doing. PlayStation, as you guys have touched on so many times, have just been quiet in terms of what they're doing. And whereas, Xbox have really gone for it in the past few years. Yeah. I don't know. That's generally the impression I get.
See, I think, this whole event, I mean, everyone's obviously talking about rumors about these games now. I think the expectation I've seen on Twitter is that this is going to be a big event for Sony. This is going to be big because they haven't said anything yet, have they really, about the next gen console? We saw that stupid tech thing that was so boring and nearly made me fall asleep. From Mark
that was
Cerny.
Different though. I always defend that because that wasn't anything. That wasn't a console release or anything to shout about. That was just here's some facts about
I just don't think it was the best way to reveal that should have been something that was done later on. I don't think it was the best way to
I completely agree. That's something that's followed up when you've seen the launch and then you go, all right, what about the specs? Let's go deeper. But
they definitely made an error there, in my opinion. But anyway, I think because we haven't heard anything at all. So, I mean, we saw the controller and stuff. I think that controller looks pretty cool, to be fair. I mean, I'm not keen on the colour scheme, but I think the actual controller looks quite nice. It looks a lot better than the DualShock 4, in my opinion. I think it will be a better controller. So they've made a good step there. But yeah, I think they're going to hit hard with this. I think it is going to be I think it's going to be something big, quite big. I think they're going to show a lot.
Definitely.
Now, I know obviously Spider-Man 2 for you is probably the most game you want to see the most from this event. That's one you'd be tuning in to see the most, I assume.
Which one do you say? Sorry,
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2.
Is obviously the game where, and I get the sense that game's not far off. I mean, because when did it come out? 2018, wasn't it? Yeah, 2018. The end of 2018. Now, I think that will probably be out in the next 18 months or so. Maybe 12 months. Well, I don't think we'll have to wait long for that one. So that's exciting.
I've mentioned it in the past. If that was close to the PS5 launch, then I'd probably buy a PS5. I mean, the exclusives, as many times we've touched on the PS4, have just been amazing. They've knocked out the park.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they have.
If they've got any of these that are on launch or close to launch, then I'm
Horizon Zero Dawn 2 is obviously probably the most likely one for me to be a launch game.
Well, I'm going to buy it then, probably.
Well, just matching up the times, because that came out early 2017, didn't it? It's been what? It's going to be 3.5 years. Seems to match up well for launch to me. It might not be a launch, actual launch, but I think it'll be probably out by February or March.
Well, that's what I mean. If it's that close, might as well just buy a PS5. You've touched on how the Xbox Series X will be able to play Xbox One X, sorry, will be able to play games for 2 years, isn't it? Until an actual exclusive, or roughly around 1 to 2 years when an actual exclusive for the next gen happens.
Well, that's what they've said, so we can only go off what they've said. I mean, they could I don't think they will backtrack on it, so that's the disappointing thing from the Xbox side. I know some people would disagree, but it's disappointing for me.
I think it's such a bad move, to be honest.
Oh.
Such a bad move.
In one way, it's a really good move in terms of like consumer friendly. It's like, oh, that's great. Like, you're not leaving anyone behind. But at the same time, it's like a lot of people buy a next gen console because they want to feel like it's new. Like, this is new.
They want things to be left behind.
Exactly. I want to move into the next generation.
Yeah. Do you know what, though? This is funny because this is the first time, I think, since I've played games where I've had a new generation upon us or upon me, and I'm thinking, like, there's so many comments online. Like, I actually feel like we're in the minority. Everyone's praising this from Microsoft and saying, like, how cool it is that they're not fracturing player bases and you can play across this family of consoles and you can do what you want. And so many times I've said, like, can we just have a new gen? Can we just... go forward? Like, is that not what gaming is? Like, where did it change? Where all of a sudden it was about, oh, it's mean to make people pay money for new things. Let's just keep everyone together. I think it's a bit weird. Like, I know, I understand fully both sides. I just don't get how it's all of a sudden Sony are like vindictive for making you pay for next gen stuff. That's bizarre to me.
Yeah. It is a weird one. I get it from both sides. I think it is both sides. It depends how you feel personally, I guess. But just going through some of the. Go on, sorry, Bobby.
Sorry, mate. I was just going to say, as me, being a quite a casual gamer, I wouldn't be offended if Xbox released an exclusive said, no, you can't play this on Xbox One. I'd be like, fair enough. They've made this for the next generation. I need to buy the next generation console if I do want to play this. I don't know why people should be offended by that, because surely Xbox have already reiterated that they're working on backwards compatibility. Why don't you just you get the Xbox Series X, you have the exclusives, but you can still play the old games? Yeah,
that is an argument. And everything's going to be backwards compatibility anyway, so you're not really missing. I mean, you're not really missing out, are you? It's not like you're going to buy an Xbox Series X and be like, oh, I can't play Halo 5 or whatever. It's like you'll be able to play it because it's backwards compatible. So yeah, that.
Exactly.
Yeah, but just looking for these lists of games, one that really sticks out for me on this list, and I'm sure for you probably as well, but Silent Hill, which we keep hearing rumours about.
You just couldn't resist.
I couldn't resist.
I had to go there.
I had to go there, right, as well, because I don't know if you see. There's no smoke without fire, in my opinion. We keep hearing rumours about this Silent Hill game. Yeah, but there's more. There's even for every time it just keeps cropping up that they're in conjunction with Sony and they're making it exclusive and things like that. And I just don't think there's smoke without fire. I think it is highly possible this could be a thing.
I would love it. I'm the biggest survival horror fan there is. But if it happens, when it happens, who knows? It could be years out still. If they are coming together again, I'm just not going to get excited about it.
Well, there was a rumor with a screenshot and it said 2021. So could be bullshit. Obviously, it could be absolute rubbish. I mean, but it could be true. So I personally think it is something that's probably in development. We've not heard anything from Silent Hill for decade, probably since 2009-10 was the last Silent Hill proper game.
Yeah, I was going to say we've heard a lot, but a lot that hasn't come to fruition, and obviously Silent Hills didn't ever come to fruition itself. But look, I'm excited about Silent Hill, but at the same time, I'm not going to get hyped for a release because it's just got a pin in it. Like Silent Hill, that's an exciting franchise. I really like it, but nothing tangible is happening, so I really don't care until we see something.
Well, I guess then you're probably more like, in your opinion, then more like to see Resident Evil 8. Well, it's probably a certainty we're going to see that this year, isn't it? In terms of revealed. I think that's pretty obvious.
And we actually know that's real.
Yeah, and that is looking like a next year game, isn't it? 2021 to me. I think that's probably likely.
Yeah, I would say so.
Which is exciting because, Resident Evil 7, I know you weren't as keen on it with your perks, but you did watch it rather than play it. So, yeah. But I thought 7 was a really good game, and obviously Resident Evil 2 was great. I enjoyed Resident Evil 3, and I know some people were a bit hard on it, but I thought it was fun. So they're on a good trajectory, Resident Evil, so it makes sense that they want to get Resident Evil 8 out pretty soon, I think.
I think one game that sticks out that I think many people would see the list and be very excited for that we haven't touched on is God of War 2.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
I mean, granted, it is in our most overrated gaming list,
which some people really do probably take issue with, I assume. Yeah. Look, it's one of them though, isn't it? That we do think it's a bit overrated, but I'd still be excited. I'm still excited to play the next one. Yeah, because I enjoyed the first one.
Yeah, there's a hell of an asterisk by that. Like, it's overrated, but that doesn't mean it's a bad game.
Yeah, I was going to say it's overrated. It's like the
best game ever.
People say it's 10 out of 10, and we say it's 8 out of 10.
And it's not, yeah.
So, but there is a big difference between 8 and 10 out of 10. So
yeah, exactly. I'm looking forward to that because the first one, especially story-wise, was really interesting, wasn't it? Combat was really fun.
Yeah, I like the new setting.
They definitely need to improve the maps. And I mean, the fast travel was absolutely horrendous on that game. It really was terrible. So they need to improve that massively. The menus were a bit obtuse as well. So they definitely need to improve that. But I'm looking forward to the story elements. Obviously, I don't want to spoil the game, but obviously things happen at the end of the game that are interesting. Things are revealed. So it's like, that'll be interesting for the next one.
Well, set it up nicely.
What else have we got on here? We've got, the one that I thought I want to bring Bobby in on, because I know you're a massive fan of it, like me. Crash Bandicoot, a new Crash Bandicoot game rumoured.
Oh, lovely. That's a completely new story.
Well, yeah, it is rumoured to be a new... Well, I guess we can't say 100%. It could be another remake, but I don't know what else they'd remake at this point. Maybe like Twin Sanity or something like that. But
Crash Bash.
Crash Bash.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
What a game.
I really enjoyed that
frustrating.
Game. Very. I don't know. I get the sense that Crash Bash wasn't quite as loved as Crash Team Racing or the originals, so I'm not sure about that. I think it's probably going to be a new Crash game, personally.
That will be really interesting, yeah. I was kind of hoping they're going to do that with Spyro as well, to be honest. If you guys are into that.
They could do.
It'd be interesting where they can take the story, because these stories were made in, the 1990s, were they?
Yeah. Well, the original Crash is. Well, the original Spyro as well.
Yeah, well, exactly. So it'd be interesting to see where they can take it, for modern times, the sort of audience there is now. But
would it still have that same magic, though? That's what I'd be worried about.
Yeah.
Would it have that, like, Naughty Dog magic?
Well, I think this is kind of Perks' argument about these soft reboots. We want to experience something new and novel, don't we?
Yeah, like, what would be... I mean, think about it, man. Like, I know that the Crash remake was great. We all played it and loved it, but... Same thing, same platform that we all know, but completely different, and you haven't had it before, and all these levels are brand new with all the great stuff they can do with platform and level design. That's just a win, isn't it? Like, how could that go wrong?
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
And don't forget, though, we are older now, so we might not be as forgiving as we were when we were kids and look past things that, we complain about now.
We're not at 7-year-old birthday parties like Geronimo is playing Crash Bash.
It'd be good to go out sometime. Yeah.
Simpler times.
Well, another game actually on here. Probably one for you a little bit more, I'd say, Eld. This apparent new Uncharted game. I know you're. I'd say I know you're not. You're probably more of a a casual Uncharted fan, because I know like you enjoyed some of them, didn't you? But
I
you didn't play 4, did you? You watched it, didn't you?
I didn't have a... What was it? Was that on PS4?
You didn't have a PS4 at the time, did you?
At the time, no.
So. But would you be excited by a new Uncharted, or do you think it should have probably been just left as it was? With
the way they wrapped up 4, I assume that story's done, so that this Uncharted game will be about his kid? Maybe?
Potentially, yeah. I guess that's a slight spoiler, but again, if you haven't played Uncharted 4, it's been 4 years. So.
Oh yeah, my bad. Sorry.
Thanks, Eldon.
Sorry. This is just a spoiler show. Don't worry about it.
But obviously, it's not going to be done by Naughty Dog, so it's going to be done by rumored to be a different developer. So that'd be interesting. Well, they've got a different take on it.
Yeah, that's kind of worrying and intriguing at the same time, because Naughty Dog did such a good job with it, but. They have a chance to use a new character, create a new character up, and create a new story with it within the Uncharted universe. So I'll give it a chance.
You just know Nathan Drake could appear in it at some point.
Oh yeah, cameo
halfway through the game.
He'll probably die in it as well.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, not. He's survived falls, gunshots, everything.
Being dragged by
sinking.
Why is it in Uncharted 4 that set piece where you're dragged by across a bridge?
Yeah,
by a car. It's it's ridiculous.
But knowing in the new one, he'll just die and just get stabbed or something. Unfortunately,
a tree will fall on him.
Tree.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But what else we got in here? We got the Bat. I mean, we've talked about Batman. Feels like forever, haven't we? Like they just need to reveal it by now. It's like, how many years has it been since? It's been 5 years since the last Batman game. It's like, come on, guys. I think enough's enough. Like,
I don't
really
actually want it. I know. I did enjoy the games that I've played. I didn't play the first one, which was, what was that? Asylum, or was that second?
Arkham
that's
Asylum.
the best one, man.
Yeah, that is the best one.
I didn't play that one. I played the other two, and I don't know. They were good games, but I'm just not excited for it. You guys might completely disagree.
Well, I just don't. I just want them to go back towards how Asylum was, or how City was. I want them to kind of clear away. I don't want to be seen. For example, I don't want to see the Batmobile in the game. Like, if it's in the game, like maybe once you use it once in the game or something. I don't want to be seeing like firing them stupid. Oh, it was so annoying. There was like missions where you had to kill like 40 of those like other cars or whatever they were. Like, what is this? It was terrible.
That dragged on.
Yeah, this sounds like Sud wants another soft reboot.
To be honest. Well, no, because to be fair, Bobby, I kind of agree with you. I kind of like the soft reboots. So if they did soft reboot Batman, I wouldn't even mind, to be honest.
Have you played the Arkham trilogy, Bobby? Or any?
Nope, I certainly have not.
I do not know what that was.
It was just like he was trying to remember, like, have I played now?
Like, have I?
It's like I was on hold on a phone call.
Well, yeah, my speciality.
Yeah.
I was going to say, does watching YouTube walkthroughs count?
Yeah.
I mean, you've watched the game.
Yeah, I've watched plenty of games.
Yeah. Well, I know my brother was kind of trying to get me to play it for a while, but it's funny, only in like the past year or two, I've kind of just gotten back into, gaming quite a bit again. So I feel like I've missed out on quite a bit of like, what's I'd saying about games from 5 years ago and things. So,
actually, one more game I did. Sorry, Bob. One more game I did want to bring up actually quickly. This refers to you, Perks. It's the 5th game down on the list.
Yeah, it's going to be Crying Light.
Now, I know you weren't a massive fan of the first one, and obviously you coined the phrase "crying light," which is funny, to be fair. And I didn't mind the first one. There was definitely elements where it got a bit boring towards it, but I've got to say, I remember watching that first trailer for Dying Light 2 being like, wow, this actually looks really good. But again, I don't know, would that hold any excitement for you at all, Dying Light 2, please? Or would you just be like, no, not for me?
You know what? One of the most surprising things, and I know it's not the biggest franchise in the world, but I just don't understand how Dying Light went on for so long. Like, they did so much good work for it, and there was a lot of free content, wasn't there, that went along with the first one.
Really highly selling game, though.
Yeah, like really well selling, really well supported, like everything. Well, like the development side of things, the player base, it just seemed really strong from day one. And I remember like me and Matty were going through it, and we didn't enjoy hardly any of it. I don't know if we had too high expectations, but I don't know, man. It just felt to me like, this is an alright game.
Some people really swear by it, don't they? Some people really view it as like really high up, like highly.
So I know the game, like regardless of what we thought of it at launch, I know the game consistently was supported with good updates as well, and the quality of life remained and maybe even improved on in a lot of people's views. So I would definitely play Dying Light 2, but I would probably go in with much lower expectations than I had first time around. So it wouldn't be, I don't know, it wouldn't be one of the first games I'd play on that list. It would be somewhere around the mid ground. I am like you. I'm excited by the trailer because I thought the initial tease was pretty cool. So if it does improve on an already successful game, even though I didn't particularly enjoy it, maybe a slightly different direction will lure me in.
Yeah, definitely. I think one thing to take away from this list is if even half these games are announced at this PlayStation event, it'll be a pretty good event.
It'll be very strong.
So
very strong.
I think we'll get something new from Sony. I don't know if you get that. I get the impression we'll get some sort of new IP as well, from one of their studios.
Well, we can hold out hope. I wouldn't be surprised.
I think so.
And it would be good, to see a new IP, that's for sure. But that does bring the end to the podcast. So thanks for joining us, ever. And if you are listening to us on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and comment with your thoughts on the topics we've covered today. If you're listening to us on any audio platform, please leave us a nice review and also pass on the pod. You can follow the podcast on social media Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at ChetReachPod. Links are in the description below. And you can also follow the guys on social media. Where can people find you, Sud?
So it's on Twitter at David10Spud.
Perks?
At JG Perks.
Bobby, if you like to give out your handle, you can.
Bobby_Parry.
The Parry Bro. There you go.
That's it.
And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at LEL3Ds, add a 9 in the end for Instagram. So anyway, thanks for joining me as ever, and thanks to Bobby for deciding to come on the podcast for the first time. Debut.
Thanks for having me, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's been
good
fun.
to have you.
Yeah, hopefully get you on a few more in the future. We'll see. Anyway, have a good week, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you later.